Welcome to another episode of the Edinboro Wrestling Show. Joe Ludnowski.
Matt Hill.
Matt Hill, is that who you are?
Yeah.
This guy, the Hall of Famer. We had to genuflect now that he's the Hall of Famer, AJ Shopp. All right, fellas. It's, I was a comm major, so hours is a little too much math for me, but days. Wrestle-offs around the corner. What, October 23rd? I guess
9 days.
9 days. I don't know. How many hours would that be?
Minus 20.
I don't know. Anyway, all right. Wrestle-offs October 23rd. You always talk about depth and being a good problem, but you know how tricky is that to navigate with wrestle-offs? Obviously, when you're the returning starter versus guys that have real wrestling experience in the MAC, maybe a couple of guys that have had some NCAA berths. How is there any weight that is kind of out of bounds when it comes to the outcome, or how are you going to handle that, Matt?
Yeah, programs handle wrestle-offs different ways. Sometimes it's a showcase. Otherwise, is a good way to get ready for your first competition, gearing up for the season. Here at Edinboro, we want our guys to get out there and earn their spot. Obviously, wrestle-offs aren't the end-all, be-all for the starting position, but it's just one of those things we like to hit the ground running with a true competition and try to get the best out of each guy. And then cream rises, and also try to have a good event for the community and the fan base.
Now, obviously, the wrestle-offs will be, it'll be fun. It'll be there's the tailgate element. There's the costume contest. I think it's cool because it's probably I don't want to say it's laid back, but it's far more similar to an open than it is to a dual meet. Where how would you describe the atmosphere for anybody that is pondering maybe checking it out for the first time?
Yeah, it's an environment where people can just kind of roam freely, but also hone in on some wrestling.
2 mats this year again?
Yeah, we'll have 2 mats. We'll have 2 refs. We'll be streaming it, but also we're looking to get a great crowd. So that's the other part, and bring in a lot of the community. We're doing a trunk or treat, a Halloween costume. We'll have some live music, hopefully, and just have a good event.
I enjoy it because it's, as a coach, when you go and dual meets, you're talking about the atmosphere and the differences. The difference for us is we kind of get to just sit back and relax and kind of see. I guess it's like we're in a lab, we're in a science lab all summer, kind of building these guys up. And yes, they are fighting each other just like they were fighting each other in the room, but it's nice to be able to just sit back and relax and just watch what we've been building up with in the summer. And there's been a lot of guys with us training here in the summer, so to be able to get to kind of let them loose a little bit and let them go scrap. Obviously, we'll have to wait another couple weeks until they get to beat up on other teams, but right now, get to see them down to weight and then sit back and just watch and see how they compete at weight, which is usually a lot different than competing in practice, where there's no pressure there. You don't have to make weight yet, and so when you get to really get down to weight, you put your singlet on, you get out in front of a crowd. It's a lot better for them to get that feel, but for us, it's kind of comfortable to just sit back and relax and take notes and see, what work we've been doing in the summer and see if they can connect that, and put it out in competition.
When you talk about the competitive nature of it, and obviously you guys both wrestled here to speak to it, but there's that room's one thing, but the mat upstairs, and do you earn your spot here? Yeah, but you have an opportunity to sort of show to the what's the preparation like from the standpoint that obviously you want to raise the compete of the program, but you also want to see it come to fruition. And obviously you've got it's friendly fire, right? Because you're rooting for both guys, but what's that like from your perspective, Matt?
Well, yeah, there's no secret magical pill or secret sauce that you have to work really hard inside the wrestling room. So obviously every coach in the country preaches that consistency, dedication, hard work, all those things. And when you get upstairs, there is different switches for different guys. And we were talking about a practice room national champ yesterday. We're like, oh man, we hope he does that upstairs. We hope that happens upstairs. So, but everybody kind of turns it on a little bit differently when it really matters. Hopefully you practice just like you compete. All right, but that's different. There's different athletes with different mentalities, and they perform in different ways. But majority of the time, the way you compete in the practice room is how you're going to compete upstairs. But obviously, competition brings out a different monster in kids, and they show some different things, and hopefully we see that.
We always talk about expectation, and you don't have much expectation for me because I keep the bar pretty low. But there are some guys with some expectation. But maybe, really getting into the weeds here, what is a realistic expectation for a couple of guys that are making significant jumps in weight class? It's easy for me to add on 10 in a weekend, but when you're moving up, let's talk about Ryan Burgos making a jump, and Brody Evans in a bit. But I mean, this is significant movement in weights. What's a fair expectation? Obviously, Ryan Burgos' talent has never been a question, but he's making a pretty big jump.
Yeah, I mean, we always preach you got to look the part. So make sure you look what those other guys look like that are very successful at the national level. So we preach that you have to be able to go out there and compete physically, mentally, and just having that experience too helps a guy like Burgos. So he's a 6-year guy. I think he's been through a lot of different weight classes. Of 41 as a freshman, 49 over the last couple of years, and he wrestled 57 last year. So he's kind of going 4 different weight classes in his career, I guess, and we're gonna see how he does at 65. I think it's a great opportunity for him to kind of let loose and maybe just have a little bit more fun with the sport.
We have a couple guys that are going down in weight as well, and we're talking about problems on a team and in terms of wrestle-offs and competition. It's nice because we're trying to win a MAC title, you know what I mean? And so to have guys that are either filling up or going down to put themselves in a lineup because they see that our team is getting pretty good, right? Like we're starting to build some depth at some weights, and some guys are like, hey, maybe we have a guy at this weight and I'm going to go down. So kind of relating it back to when I was in school here, like I could have went up a weight. My teammate Mitchell Port could have went up in weight. Habit probably was a good size 49, but like it felt it was best for us to stay at the weight that we needed. So we had to make a sacrifice. So we have some guys sacrificing going up in weights. We have a couple guys sacrifice going down in weights. And so that's where us trying to win a MAC title, like we have guys making sacrifices. So that's what we appreciate a lot about, the guys that are making some jumps up or going down. And it's a lot of work and we appreciate it. And so we're looking to win. We're looking to have some guys step back, step in a lineup and do some damage. So.
Now we will later on in the show we'll kind of get into each weight class and kind of real quickly run through the expectation. But I guess before we get Jared McGill to join us, when you look at it from in a ball sport, week 1 to week 2 usually is the greatest improvement. How do you chart that? Like where you're at? So it's October 14th or whatever it is today. When the first milestone obviously is wrestle offs. What are you looking from here to then, and then obviously the Clarion Open being the next step. And is it trackable in that? Is there anything specifically that you need to see from anybody or either one of you guys that you need to see say before Thanksgiving?
We some kids it's match count. Getting their match count up so they get the experience and kind of understand their system throughout the season and being able to maintain the weight the way they want. Having a great game plan from a Saturday to a Saturday with what their diet is and their training and their peaking at the end of the week. So trying to learn how to do that the proper way, especially for a young guy. I mean, we had talks with the young guy yesterday about where his weight was and how he's going to progress down and be able to be competitive. Yeah, people can make weight, but are you going to make weight and be good? And that's kind of what we're looking for. And our guys, I think most of our guys are on a pretty good track. We're really serious about their weight and their conditioning and what their body is looking like and how they're progressing through the preseason. But there's going to be guys that have just like baseball, they're going to have a slump here and there. And you gotta get back in it mentally and learn how to adjust to the environment they're in, or they're going to get a small injury and adjust to that. And just a lot of things can happen. It's no different in a ball sport essentially. When it comes to ups and downs in a season.
I would say it's there's a lot of different variables, and one of them is weight. So getting their weight in order, so the guys that are on top of it will probably have more success earlier in the season. And sometimes it's just kind of the luck of, not luck, but just a situation where they have a match where they can come in and get a good battle with a guy that's ranked and get some confidence. Because wrestling is a lot of confidence. Like we've been doing this, a lot of us for. Especially guys on the team now, right, have been doing it for probably over a decade. So for them to be able to go out and maybe get a big win. Maybe it's a guy that didn't really have the big accolades in high school, and they go out and get a good win. They're like, oh wow, like I belong in a top ranked guys, and I feel like I can go do this, get this done. So for them to be able to go out, get a good win, we have some opportunities for the guys this year. We're going out to CKLV and stuff like that out of Vegas, one of the toughest in-season tournaments for college wrestling, and a lot of ranked guys out there. So just being able to give our guys opportunities to be able to wrestle ranked guys, give themselves the possible confidence if they get a good win or even a close match, sometimes helps build that confidence. So then for the rest of the year, so sometimes it just takes that one match, that's why I said a lot of different variables. So if their weight's on point, maybe that ranked guy that maybe people thought maybe he had some random lucky win, caught somebody last year, got in the rankings, and our guy beats them, and it kind of like there's a lot of different variables that can go into a guy having success and kind of building their career, but a lot of it kind of stems off when can they have confidence? Are they mature yet to be able to understand, that maybe they didn't have a big win yet, but they've been putting a lot of work in, and a lot of times that relates into having success on the mat.
All right, Jared McGill will join us when we come back. It's the Edinboro Wrestling Show. Back with more right after this. All right, welcome back to the Edinboro Wrestling Show. And, of course, like anything else, Coach Hill left me in the lurch. Chris Vargo didn't tell me he was going to jump on, but here we are. All right, Jared McGill, Chris Vargo, guys on the other end of it. Jared is, old enough to be your dad, let's be honest. He's been here long enough, right?
We call him Peepaw.
I know, he is. But, all right, so
old and wise.
I'll meet you halfway. Old.
Just old.
All right. This is it, dude.
Like
you've had... this is what's it like, all right? Because, obviously you've been through a lot. We don't need to go through but this is it. Like, there's no next year. There's no, what's the approach been? Coach Hill talks about the body, how healthy are you? And, what's a realistic expectation?
For me, it feels like any other year. It just goes by like real quick, literally, like I came into Pitt and then I did 2 years there. And then next thing you know, I transferred here, and I just felt like my time went by so fast. But I feel like this year, I'm just gonna approach it the way I would any other year. So. All
right, now obviously, Chris, you talk about the expectation. Let's be honest. Anytime anybody mentions your name, like it's the Jack's Force match comes in. What was it like for you? Obviously, high school. I don't want to say high school's easy, but it's not Division I wrestling. It felt like we could sometimes painfully watch you grow. Sometimes it was fun to watch you grow. How much did you learn from last year, that ebb and the flow of how hard it is to be a D1 wrestler?
Well, I came in and I trained all summer. And when you train all summer, you have the expectation of I'm going to go out and it's going to be like high school and I'm just going to go out and win. And I found that out that Division I's a lot different. Everyone's good, and you got to take every match one match at a time. And when we had that Thanksgiving break, I went home, talked to a few of my home coaches, and it kind of gave me a little bit of spark. Because before then, it was like I was 500, and I was just winning one match, losing two. It was just hard. And when you work all summer, you expect this big payoff. And when that didn't happen, I can't lie, I kind of fell down into a little dump. And I went home and talked to my coaches, and when I came back, it was a lot better. We rattled off a few wins there, and the confidence started to grow. And I think confidence in Division I or in any sport is a really big thing. And when you start getting the train rolling, it's hard to stop. But then you still have the setbacks, and Division I's a lot different than high school. And
I feel like it's mostly in little increments. It's hard to kind of see.
When you're in high school, you're just better than somebody.
Yeah.
But at this level, the guy that stinks might be good at.
He was probably a 3-time state champ.
But he's good at a move that maybe that's not your best.
Yeah.
So every time out, you talk about getting caught. It's really easy to get caught by a guy that's got a bad record, but he's good at something that you're not good at. And everybody's good, right?
Yeah.
It's just some guys are better than other guys.
Yeah.
What's that? I mean, now again,
And I feel like
you've been around forever.
Yeah.
What's that? Like, how do you approach that when you prepare for a match? Like, sure, this kid's
Yeah.
only won 4 times, but you know that he's got a tool in the toolbox that's probably not, your best. It's going to really work against you.
Yeah, I feel like that's why Coach Hill and Shopp, like they really focus on like everybody being consistent, because it's like if you have a bad match, like it's probably not going to go well for you. Like there's a lot of tough guys out there, so you have to be consistent in your training, your diet, your sleep, and all that stuff. So I think that's like very important.
You guys were here most of the summer, but what's a regular day now that the school's in season? What time do you get up? What's...
Yeah, I mean, a lot of days like now, like in the preseason, we didn't have as many 6 a.m.s, but now like I think we're picking them up. We got like 4 6 a.m.s in a week. So I mean, a day like most of our days would be waking up at 6 a.m., going back, doing class, like making sure you're fueling your body, all that stuff. Maybe taking like a nap, and then you come back in at 3. Like I guess you'd come in at 2, like take care of your body, like all that stuff. Then you have practice. You go back, you eat again, and then you get ready for the next day.
What was it like, Chris, obviously doing it for the first time to get into that regimen? And you talk about being in high school, mom or dad are there to give you the discipline, it's time to go to bed, it's time to wake up, it's time to make sure that your books are in order.
Yeah.
How was that transition for you to have to do that all on your own?
I think it was kind of for me. It was easy. I think for some of the other freshmen, it might be a little harder. I was fortunate. My dad he prepared me for it. Growing up, it was always, it's your choice. You're gonna have to be the one to work hard, and so a lot of discipline and accountability I think goes into that. And I just can't thank everyone back home enough. I think I was pretty prepared coming into college.
All right, McGill, this might be the last time we're on TV together. The first time didn't go so well, if you remember. I wish we could play the clip, but so again, this is it. What do you want this year? Because you only get to do this year once.
I mean, for me, like one of my main goals this year is to wrestle in every single dual meet. I feel like that's important to me, like for this year to help the team out. Like coming back for my 7th year, I think it's really important to come back and help the team as much as possible. And then obviously I want the team to win max. That would be definitely a good way to ride off into the sunset. And then an individual goal for me, I definitely want to get on that podium this year. So
now, how was your body? I mean, obviously that you
Yeah.
had a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
Scale of 1 to 10, how healthy are you, and what have you learned?
Yeah.
Obviously you've had different things be
Yeah.
injured. What have you learned with how important it is, and what are you going to do differently to make sure that you don't miss any action?
I mean, the big thing for me this year is definitely wrestling smart. Just staying like in good position. I feel like Coach Hill really emphasizes that a lot. Is like don't put yourself in bad positions for guys to rip your limbs off. So like last year at Midlands, like I kind of got in a bad spot, and then the guy torqued my arm off and ripped my pec. So yeah, I feel like this year it's just like staying in really good position and just wrestling smart. And I feel like the more you are like on top and control the match, I feel like the less likely you are of getting hurt. So
well, certainly we like the word expectation. A couple of guys here, the expectations are very high. We will run down all the weights when we come back, get you ready for wrestle offs, and of course the Clarion Open again. It's wrestling season, fellas.
Yeah, we're here.
Appreciate you taking some time. Best of luck. Stay healthy and be well. All right, Coach Hill, Coach Shopp. When we come back, it's the Edinboro Wrestling Show. Welcome back, the Edinboro Wrestling Show. Wrestle offs on the 23rd, and hope you can make it out. If you can't, they will be streaming. All right, rapid fire here. I'm just going to say the weight class 125.
Oh, we got a
Vargo.
returning starter Vargo. Worked pretty much probably one of the best summers you can this summer, and we have another guy named Austin Zimmerman. He's had a great summer as well, and Eamon Jimenez has been in his 4th year, and then Bryce Arbogast transferred from West Virginia. He's looking good in the room too. So we're excited to see a good competitive weight, and it's great to have 125 pounds. Have 4 guys there. And,
it's a good for bookend.
Yeah,
one of the bookends.
Yeah.
It's hard to get that many guys at a bookend.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, obviously at the college level, that's a tough weight to field. 133.
Yeah, we have a guy coming down in weight. Like I said, talking about guys that want to make an impact on a team, be a part of something special that we're building. And Eamon Oles, has had some injuries, but he's finding as an older guy, he's like, you know what, I want to make a difference on our team, and I'm gonna sacrifice a little bit. I'm gonna get my weight down. And then you have a red shirt or a guy coming out of red shirt with Landon Bainey, looking to be able to come in and make an impact as well. So, right, so that's another just strong contested weight that we have, one of the many, and then we'll have a couple freshmen down low that'll be looking to step up and just battle with those guys, whether they're redshirting or not. Just obviously we want all guys, whether they're redshirting or not, to be looking to trying to train like they're winning a national title, but. Most of the young guys will most likely redshirt this year because, like I said, we have a lot of upperclassmen that are building into the weight. So
you mentioned Eamon coming down 141. What's that spot look like?
Pretty competitive weight class. Returning starter Anthony Farrar, I think, is going to be going up, but we'll have Jacob Brennan's coming off a redshirt year. Had a really good redshirt, placed at several opens. He needed a redshirt year. He was thrown to the Wolves his freshman year. Started off 33, went up to 41, and we're excited for him to. Show out but we got another guy named Gavin Suika. He's coming into the weight class off a redshirt year, so a lot of youth there. And then we got a guy named Cheney Shoff from probably said his name wrong, but from Indiana transfer. He was ineligible last year due to a transfer, but he's competitive, and we're excited to see that was a group of three. Might be missing someone else, but I think we got at least three solid tough guys that are wrestling off. So
49, obviously, that's a weight that has seen a lot of guys in it. What's 149 look like?
Yeah, Ryan Michaels, obviously the returner last year. He was at 57, and then we did a late season switcheroo on some guys and just had some weights that we wanted to switch around and end up working out really well. Hill always says we almost looked really smart there with that little switch at the end of the year.
Literally, it was like seconds. They both
There was two matches that literally probably was combined 10 total seconds of wrestling that guys looking at bursts at going to NCAAs and being a national qualifier. But that's what it is. Wrestling at the highest level, it's going to take one little tough situation to twist a match, in your favor or not. And so, but we're looking to switch those around this year, and Michaels will be back. And then, just in the midst of all the 41s that we have had in the past, some of them are shifting up to 49. And so but Ryan Michaels being the upperclassman, older guy, he's kind of one of the leaders on a team, guys that have stepped up and kind of taken a leadership role. We talk about a lot of our guys everyone be a leader. Everyone has the opportunity to step up and take action and take charge and be the guy that everyone wants to look up to and follow. But he's a guy that is verbally loud, and it's in a good way. And he shows up, he does the right things, does extra, and we're looking for him to have a pretty solid year. Yeah.
Obviously, 157 is next, and again, you talk about that jumping back and forth. What's this? Who's the favorite? What's that weight class look like?
That's kind of an open weight class, but we have some really promising young guys in it. We're excited to see you. Got one of our hardest working kids, determined kids. His name's Gary McChesney out of Texas, and wrestling down in Texas has a lot to prove when it comes to Pennsylvania, and he's proven it through his work ethic. So we're excited to see him compete for the weight class. We have a couple unknowns, possibly with a red shirt from last kid named Joe Clark's. I'm going to finally get to see him compete. Really tough kid that has a lot of ability. So we're excited there. Who else is in that? I don't know. We have a big roster this year, but we're excited for that weight class and see who kind of shows out and see what the.
We're sitting around 40, a little under 40 now, but it's a lot of the newer guys are in the upper weight, so there's a lot of kind of weight shifting around, guys that are young guys that are trying to find their way into the lineup, or just kind of be a guy that's trying to develop and be a good partner for some of the guys that are upperclassmen that have kind of proven themselves. So. But it is fun to watch some of the young guys that, because usually throughout this point of the preseason, we just got finished with preseason, but there's a lot of guys that as freshmen they come in and they're like, I don't know if this is for me. And we had pretty much everyone make it through preseason, and it was like, man, this is so it's a pretty tough crew that we have down low. A lot of guys like pushing themselves and working hard. So. Yes, there are some proven guys up high in the upper weights, but there's a lot of young guys that are trying to make a name for themselves. we'll see. It might take him a couple years, but we're looking for them to try to make an impact right away. Like as kind of like I've said it before, when our team was here and we were freshmen, yes, we were excited for the future of what we could be, but it's like, why can't we be good now? And that's what we're looking for, young guys.
40 on the roster, what you do, the tape on the forehead, writing the names on the forehead like you do at football camp?
Yeah.
Is that how you tell
Billy,
them?
yeah.
Jimmy, you come on. But obviously, 65, we sort of touched on Ryan Burgos here. Big jump. You mentioned started at 41. That's a long way, but then that was a long time ago. Talent, he knows it. Everybody knows it. But that will be a significant jump in the body type. How's he looking?
Looking good. He's had a pretty good preseason. He's an old guy now, 6th year, and it's a lot. That's a lot of training, a lot of wrestling. So, one of those things is like if you've been through our system for that long, you should be a pretty tough kid, and minus injuries happening here and there. But we're excited to see him just let loose this year. And if things go well, he should have a great season. But we have there's some depth at 65, a lot of hardworking kids, some young guys that really want to prove themselves, plus sort of a veteran, a 4th year guy, Max Kirby's held that weight down for a couple of years. So we're excited to see some real good competition for him to kind of grow out of that atmosphere, because he hasn't really been in a spot where there's been competition in the weight class. So we're excited, and that makes everybody better. That's the point of good competition at a weight class.
174.
I don't want to skip over the one guy at 6'5". Just he's a guy that when I'm talking about some of the young guys that are like making an impact, and when I say like he talked about one of our hardest working guys at 57, like we have a couple of those guys at 25, and this one guy specifically, Ali. He works his butt off, right? He came in as one of those guys that was like just ultra raw, and you're like, I don't know, like, yeah, like, is he gonna make it? And like the work ethic, and that's what's really fun. Like, I truly find joy in talking about the kids that came in not good, like, at all, and you're like, I don't know if he knows wrestling that much, but when you watch these guys put a lot of time and effort in, and then stick with it, because like this is a hard sport, and when you're at the D1 level, like it makes it even harder. It's a lot different than even high school. High school wrestling is still hard, but at this level it's a lot harder, and we have high expectations for the guys, and it's really cool to see the guys that come in very raw but just work their butts off, and those are the guys that are the funnest to talk about. It's kind of funny, like I said, like I love talking about guys that were just really bad and then became really good. Like that's the funnest thing as a coach to talk about. So I didn't want to leave him off talking about, because
he's got a great future as a second.
Regardless, even as a person, just like because of that work ethic that just stands out. That stands out the coaches, guys. That's what we want to see. So, but yeah, 74. We have a guy transferring in that's looking to make an impact. He's going up a weight. He's wrestled some of our guys, and he's buddies with some of our guys, so he's pretty well connected. Transferred over from Cleveland State, that program that got dropped, and we kind of made out and getting this guy Tate Geyser, and he's a stud. He works hard. It's another one of those like hardest working guys on a team. So like it's kind of weird saying that a lot, but there's a lot of those guys that are just really hard workers. They put their heads down. They're quiet. They don't say much, but they work, and that work ethic, like I said, it's fun to talk about. So
well,
and they just
slew of young guys at that weight too.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson Copper's freshman from New York, and then we have a couple other young guys challenging for that weight class. But I would say Tate, he's a veteran in his 4th year. He's big, strong, tough kid. So we're excited to see him compete.
Veteran is the theme as you get through the higher weights. Obviously, 84, Jared McGill. Is it as simple as being healthy for him? Is it that cut and dry?
That's a huge factor for him. He's skilled. He has some very good instincts with wrestling, and he knows how to be successful at a high level. He just has to be healthy, and hopefully we can string together a pretty good schedule for him to stay healthy, get him a lot of matches where he can get himself up in the RPI, get himself up in the national rankings pretty high, and hopefully get the NCAA tournament from those aspects.
Just another one of those guys taking a leadership role. It's cool to see those guys, because you can't just talk about it. You have to be about it as well. And so it's cool to see these guys taking charge, because I know if you're trying to be a leader, you have to do it yourself. So you can't be just gawking like us coaches do sometimes, right? Obviously, we try to. This is the one sport. I don't know many other sports that go out there and where the coaches battle with the guys day in and day out. But so like we are the ones obviously coaching and talking and preaching, but it's like one of the biggest things we've started talking about last year was making sure guys can be the leaders, right? If there's no leaders on a team, your team's going to be trash, right? If it's a player coach-led team, like your team will be a little bit better, but the player-led teams are the ones that go far because they're the ones that are in the mix every day, day in and day out, living with them. Going out eating with them, making sure the social life's good. So it's very good to make sure that we have those leaders on a team now. And it's nice that when we talk about some of the hardest working guys on a team, some of those are the youngest guys on a team too. So those guys are stepping up, taking role, and then obviously dragging those young guys along with them and making sure that we have leaders that are going to continue the tradition of being Burr built. So.
With 84, there'll be a lot of young guys wrestling off there. Jared probably won't be wrestling off, honestly, but he'll get down the weight train. But we'll have a lot of young guys in there wrestling off with Easton Belfort from Brookville, Tyson Clear, from Ohio. So we'll have some guys in there scrapping. So it'll be a good showcase of our young youth talent in there, trying to get some experience.
Another jump, 97. What's that going to look like?
97's we're gonna have Brody Evans coming up from 74, change his body. He's looking pretty good for the weight class. He likes to lift. He likes to get big, wear cutoff sleeves, and go to the weight room. And then we have Nick Lodato, a veteran, 50-year guy. He's gonna be a military officer this coming May. So he's a gamer. If you know Nick's been on our program for a while, and anytime he's out on the mats,
something's going to happen.
Something's going to happen. He's wrestled heavyweight. He's at 97. He's going to give it all. He's one of those guys, when he goes upstairs, he wrestles a little bit different than the wrestling room sometimes. So, yeah.
And obviously, heavyweight has kind of feel like heavyweight's been something that's eluded you in your time here. I don't know if there's been more guys at a weight class that have wrestled as many matches than heavyweight. Are you any closer to solidifying a heavyweight that you see will be there, barring injury from start to finish?
I think we got a guy, and we have two guys that are pretty savvy in wrestling. They know how to wrestle. More so, believing in himself is going to be the key. And Aiden Rowe, I have a lot of confidence in him this year. I think he has a huge opportunity to jump on the national scene. He's going to be pushed by his teammate Eli Mankel, who's coming up the heavyweight and from 97. So we're excited to see a competitive wrestle off there. Both savvy wrestlers. Rowe is a heavyweight, but he wrestles like a lightweight, and we're excited to see him compete. He was our starter last year. He got a lot of matches in. He had a competitive. We had to wrestle off 4 of the MAC championships against Cade, who was on our team. So it's I think Aiden and Eli are gonna burst on the scene and have a great season. So
what are you gonna dress up as for wrestle-offs, AJ?
Conor McGregor.
McGregor. All right. So that'll be it. All right. What time does the festivities get started? It's early.
Yeah, so just a little rundown of it. We're trying to just promote it and have fun with the community. I want all of Erie County, Crawford County, if you're in Ohio, Western New York, come on over. We're going to put a showcase. We have a trunk or treat going, so that starts at 5 to 5:30. We're going to have a Halloween costume. We'll be giving out some gift cards for the winners. It's going to be tough to judge them, so good luck, but we'll see how that goes. We're going to have our traditional tailgate on the backside of Macomb. So hopefully the weather's a little decent. We'll have things going on outside, and then you come on in, watch some good wrestling. We'll have a couple fun, exciting things that are going on with some music and just some good wrestling too. So it'll be a good time.
Yeah, hopefully we can get a good crowd and get ready, because the Clarion Open is the following weekend.
The Clarion will be Sunday, November 2nd.
Yeah.
And we'll kick off our not everybody's to be going, but we'll have a bulk for our team there, and then we're gonna really hit the ground running for the Michigan State Open the following weekend.
Try to get a helmet. How many helmets you get?
We'll see.
That's Clarion, right?
They give up like a gladiator helmet.
Yeah. So. All right. Hopefully you can make it out to Wrestle Offs. For Coach Shopp, for Coach Hill, I'm Joe Ludnowski. Until next time, this is the Edinboro Wrestling Show.